Yo, what's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we got a crazy leak right now regarding Oscar de la Sniffer, aka Oscar de la Coka. Different people know him by different names. I'll give both monikers, you best believe it. Monikers? I made that word up, probably. I don't know. Anyway, Oscar de la Coka. Yeah? Oscar de la Sinaloa. 100%. Airs out the fact that Floyd Mayweather cacked his pants after an old washed up De La Sniffer punched Floyd's head off, people. There's a lot of Floyd stands out there. Floyd got his ass beat by De La Sniffer. That's what happened. And that's why that's why Floyd Mayweather retired and bottled the rematch twice. Anyway, let's listen to the bars from De La Coca.
Okay.
And funny story about that too. We had a rematch clause in our contract. This is something I negotiated as well. We had a rematch clause. If he beats me, I get a rematch. It was a 1 year clause. Guess what he did? He retired for 1 year and 1 day.
Are you joking?
No, true story. Retired for 1 year and 1 day. Nobody knows this, but it's in the contract.
Well, was when he said he retired for 1 year and 1 day.
Yeah.
Was that public?
I believe so. I believe he admitted why he retired for a year.
This is
It's insane. It's insane.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. said he was retiring from boxing after beating Oscar De La Hoya on split decision on Saturday. I still plan on retiring, he told reporters after winning the World Boxing. So that
He announced his other retirement 1 day after our contract was expired.
Wait, let me ask you. In the agreement you wrote, if now you know he did this,
Yeah.
had you gone back, what could you have put in the agreement? Would you have put in, even if you
Right.
retire, you have to fight within a year?
Still, even if you come back after a year, you still have to fight. I would have obviously put that.
So
in
if you put it, you guys would have had the fight.
exactly.
So no shit. So how often did you guys try to get another thing going? It was always no, not interested. No, not interested.
Not interested. I'm retiring. I'm out of the sport. But sure enough, a day after that contract was over, he announces his unretirement.
Was it like a middle finger to you, like, hey, you want to negotiate?
yeah.
Like, so it was
Absolutely.
And you knew it, and he knew
I
it.
knew it. He knew it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who was representing him back then? Who was he?
I'm not sure. I think it was Al Heyman or.
So, those are the bars from Oscar de la Coca. Now, let's break it down here. Because this is August 2007. Oh, the moody situation. So, when did he fight De La Sniffer? He fought, Floyd Mayweather fought Oscar De La Sniffer in May. Yeah? I don't know. I think this has been... The update doesn't make sense, but let's read the words. Floyd Mayweather said he was retiring from boxing after beating Oscar de la Coca on a split decision on Saturday. I still plan on retiring, he told reporters, after winning the WBC super welterweight title. I have nothing left to prove. I want to spend time with my children. As of right now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is officially retired from the sport of boxing. So that was on a Saturday. Right, this was the week after. It couldn't have been August if they fought in May, because it wouldn't say on Saturday. It would say 3 months ago. So this was, and that's what I've heard. That's what De La Sniffer said anyway. De La Sniffer said Floyd retired immediately after the fight, and all the evidence I've been able to find has corroborated that. But Floyd retires, yeah? And then something mad happens. And this is what I wish that Patrick Bet-David had have got Oscar de la Sniffer to explain. Because I've always been under the belief that Floyd lost that fight and Floyd didn't want the rematch. Anywho, what I find odd is this. So De La Sniffer said Floyd retired 1 year to the day. Yeah. But yet he fought Hatton 7 months later. So what I don't get is that rematch clause would have been valid now. How can someone fight with a rematch clause? Right? That don't make no sense. I'm baffled there. Now, that would lead you to believe, oh, Floyd did retire. That's a damn fact. That's what you definitely can believe. Yeah, that definitely happened. Floyd retired for X amount of time, but then the Ricky Hatton fight must have been announced 2-3 months before, so September. So De La Sniffer would have known in September he's coming back. Why didn't De La Sniffer get the lawyers on it? From what I've heard from people close to the situation, they've told me it was a case of De La Hoya wanted the rematch. Because for him, he went on to fight Pacquiao anyway and got weight drained as the B-side. Again, De La Hoya fought Pacquiao and got weight drained and B-sided by Pacquiao in a much smaller fight. Pacquiao De La Hoya did half of the pay-per-views that Floyd and De La Hoya did. So De La Hoya, if De La Hoya is going to get his head punched off by Manny Pacquiao, he might as well have gone in there with no pop, no power having Floyd and made double, triple the money. So I don't believe there's any evidence that De La Sniffer wouldn't have wanted a Floyd rematch. However, there is evidence that Floyd didn't want it. Why? Floyd retired immediately after the fight. Relevance. Normally, well, these days certainly, rematch clauses are usually defined within 30 days. So it'll be a case of, okay, like AJ versus Vlad. Vlad had 30 days to decide whether or not to execute the rematch clause. These times, or back in the day, it might have been more loose as a goose. There was no prerequisite time. So De La Sniffer's, or Floyd just straight up retires and it's a bit loose as a goose. But that retirement is no doubt an obfuscation from Floyd. Why do that for, right? Because if Floyd wasn't ducking De La Hoya, he could just, you don't have to, why retire for if you're not sure? Clearly Floyd wasn't sure. How do we know Floyd wasn't really sure about retirement? I mean, 6 months is a pretty quick turnaround. Yeah, it's not like Floyd took 2 years off and then came back. 6 months is you're in back-to-back camps with a fighting 6-7 months later. So you must have known it was Fugazi. He would have had to have been back in camp in whenever it was. A month or two after the De La Hoya fight. So he would have. So the man who's about to get into a fight 6 months from now with Ricky Hatton knows he ain't retired. So why come out shilling retirement? Oops. To obfuscate the Ricky Hatton thing. But like I say, the question is because Oscar didn't fight Pacquiao until whenever it was in 2008. So Oscar could have easily got in the way of this Ricky Hatton fight and said, hey man, there's a rematch clause. You're not fighting Ricky, you fight me or nothing. He didn't. That's what I want answered. Nonetheless though, as far as Floyd ducking De La Hoya, why come out and retire immediately? That's Fugazi. Yeah, that was done for legal purposes to get him out of the conversation. Because once a man says he's retired, you can't then engage with him. And I also believe it took De La Hoya off his pace. When you're in camp and you've got a rematch clause, you want to stay on it. You want to know what you're doing. You don't want to sit around for 6 months umming and ahhing, or with someone else umming and ahhing. So to come out and say he's retired, that would have kind of de-escalated De La Hoya. Okay, Floyd's retired. Let me forget about that. Then Floyd pops up 3 months later saying, I'm fighting Ricky Hatton. People, we know what Oscar De La Coka be doing. He's been on the coke for 3 months. So Oscar De La Hoya went from being in camp for the first Floyd fight, prepared to go into camp again for the rematch. Instead, Floyd retires, which de-arms Oscar, and he on the coke somewhere. Yeah, he chilling with El Chapo, Ismael Garcia Zambada, El Mencho, all them man there. You're getting all of Mexico's finest exports. Yeah, the booger sugar. #1 Mexican exports from South America. Do you understand, people? That's what he was doing for 3 months. So you can sit here and say, well, why didn't Oscar get in the way of Ricky Hatton or the Mayweather Hatton fight? Well, it's obvious why. Yeah? Because Oscar was in the back arse of Sinaloa somewhere. Yeah? The back arse of Sinaloa sniffing the legs off of something. That's what you best believe. Breaking the back of the packet. It wouldn't have been a packet, it'd have been a brick, I'd assume. Yeah, with a brick, you have to break the back of it. You'll never get to the end of it otherwise. So De La Hoya was in the back arse of Sinaloa somewhere on some ranch, breaking the back of a brick. That's what De La Hoya was doing. So really, when De La Hoya got the message 3 months after the fight that, oh, Floyd's coming back, De La Hoya thought, it's a bit late now. Yeah, I'm halfway through this brick. I've been in Mexico for 3 months, just making my way through it. Do you understand, people? He ain't looking to fight. He wasn't looking to fight until the Pacquiao fight, which was when? Because now I'm going to show you again another example of how we know Floyd ducked this fight, because he got punched up. So look, De La Sniffer fought Steve Forbes in the May of 2008, and he fought Pacquiao in December of 2008. I'll show you why that's relevant now. Because Floyd comes out again. Yeah, when was this article? June 2008. So after De La Hoya beat Steve Forbes, albeit the rematch clause would have expired by now, De La Hoya tries to make the fight again. So De La Hoya beat Steve Forbes in May 2008. After Floyd beat Hatton in December 2007. So Floyd's active. Floyd's not retired. Yeah, he just fought Hatton a few months before. Oscar's not retired. He just fought Steve Forbes a month before. 2-2, check this. After Floyd Mayweather easily outpointed Carlos Baldomir to win the welterweight championship in 2006, he stood at the podium at the post-fight press conference and broke down in tears as he stunningly announced his retirement from boxing. Despite the emotional outpouring, few believed Mayweather was serious, rather that he'd been overcome by the moment. As it turned out, he had been. Here we go. Less than 2 months later, Mayweather agreed to face Oscar de la Sniffer in May 2007. Mayweather went life and death with him in a fight that shattered all boxing revenue and pay-per-view records. After beating Ricky Hatton in September, plans were in motion for Mayweather De La Hoya 2 to take place September 20th. Yeah? Do you think it was September 20th this month? Or this year, or 2007? Anyway, we're in plans in motion for Mayweather De La Hoya 2 to take place September 20th. But cross it off the schedule. Yeah, so it must have been 2008. Mayweather, 31, announced his retirement from boxing again on Friday in a move that appears much more serious than his impromptu declaration 2 years ago. The rematch with De La Hoya has been cancelled and Mayweather will forgo the accompanying $20 million plus payday. Floyd said, "It's with a heavy heart that I write this message today. I have decided to permanently retire from boxing. This decision was not an easy one for me to make, as boxing is all I have done since I was a child. However, these past few years have been extremely..." Okay, this guy's blabbering on. The point is, people, listen. The De La Hoya fight was the biggest fight for Mayweather. Without a shadow of a doubt. Massive. It broke all pay-per-view records. Did double what the Hatton fight, or double or more of what the Hatton fight did. Probably triple the Hatton fight, etc., etc. And you man tell me Floyd boxed De La Hoya's head off. De La Hoya looked bad in that Steve Forbes fight. De La Hoya fell off. So why not go, why is Floyd retiring rather than taking on a more washed up, a more finished De La Sniffer that he allegedly schooled in the first fight? It don't make no sense. Bear in mind, we know Floyd loves easy fights. We know he loves fights with old people. We know he loves fights with washed up people. We know he loves the bag. Oops. So why would a man who loved fighting washed up people, love fighting bums, love fighting old dusties who finished 10 years past their best, like Pacquiao was about half a decade past his best, why would he now suddenly take down the most lucrative opportunity against one of the most finished fighters we've all ever seen? Floyd Mayweather didn't even want to fight a man who had been in a ranch in Sinaloa working his way through a brick for most of 2007. Yeah, for Q3 and Q4 2007, categorically, Oscar de la Coka was on a ranch in Sinaloa, Mexico with 2-2 brick from El Chapo Shorty Guzman. That's what we know for a fact, well documented. Why would Floyd not want to fight that guy? Oops. He got punched up and he had trauma. Because De La Hoya is really the only man with a pair of balls. I'm going to call it a spade. De La Hoya is the only man. Yes, Maidana, to some extent, but Maidana was a bit slow and Maidana would only throw ones. When people are doing the Moody shoulder roll, you've got to throw punches in bunches. You can't throw singles. You've got to literally be putting 3, 4, 5 shots together. That's what you have to be doing. De La Hoya would go in there, pop, and just start slapping away. And Floyd's Moody shoulder roll would get popped. Yeah? The shoulder roll is good for like a single jab. Even a double jab. 1 or 2 shots for the most part. If you're throwing 4s and 5s, it breaks down. It's not physically possible to see that many punches coming. Floyd didn't like that. Yeah? Floyd was smiling a lot in that fight, which shows you he under pressure. When Carrot Top went in there with Floyd, Carrot Top is made for Floyd. Floyd can deal with 1 or 2 punches all day and night. Yeah, if you're going to post up in front of Floyd and bend your knees and twist off, you're going to see that coming from last week. De La Hoya, he don't have the dig that Canelo has, but De La Hoya will just push it out there. It's not massively powerful, but Floyd, someone who don't like getting hit, he don't want to be under that pressure. He don't want to be slapped half to death, and he's making it clear here. Floyd goes on, I have said numerous times after several of my fights over the past 2 years that I might not fight again. At the same time, I love competing, blah, 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 blah. Okay, he's just waffling on. Explaining why he's retired. Now, so Floyd retires in June 2008, right? June 2008, he's retired again. Let's see when he comes back. Okay, he comes back a year later against Marquez. He comes back a year later with Marquez. I mean, how retired are you, man? I guess it's possible to get bored or whatever, but come on, bro. Why you want to fight Marquez for peanuts? Why would you turn down a De La Hoya fight who's washed up and 10 times the money of Marquez? Why would you do that for to win your money Mayweather? Okay, we know why. He was shook. And I think chances are Floyd would have actually probably did what a lot of you Floyd Mayweather claim he did in the first fight. I think chances are Floyd versus Oscar 2, Floyd probably would have won 9 or 10 rounds in that fight by that point. So why won't Floyd want it? Oh, he shook. He traumatized. Yeah? He traumatized. Because what was De La Hoya going to do? Yeah, De La Hoya left most of his nose. I'd say, well, medical estimates are anywhere between 60 and 70%. Oscar de la Coka left 60 to 70% of the nose cartilage in Sinaloa, Mexico in 2007. Q3, Q4. People, why would Floyd not want to fight a man who's left half, well, again, between 50 and 70% of his nose cartilage in Sinaloa, Mexico? Come on. You've got to be traumatized. It's a bit like, why doesn't Canelo want to fight Benavidez? He'd been traumatized by Bivol. And these things, people, Canelo is a good example, really. These things rarely make sense, right? We can all sit there now and say, why, it makes no sense. Canelo whooped Benavidez' ass. Benavidez can't punch. Benavidez can't punch, for damn sure, right? These are rational things. Why would Carrot Top be ducking Benavidez who can't punch? Oh, you've had irrational trauma. What Bivol did to Carrot Top, it can't be explained. 1 + 1 isn't 2 in these scenarios. It goes deeper. So when you're telling me, there's no way Floyd would duck Dilla Sniffer because he was in Sinaloa for 6 months, caning the brick, because he was washed up, because it doesn't matter. It's about what's in your mind. And if Floyd felt pressed, which I believe he did, certainly for the first half of the fight, Floyd was not comfortable at all. He was scared, honestly scared to death in there with Floyd, in Oscar. I've seen Floyd in there with Morales, put it all over Diego Corrales. I've seen him in there with Corrales, put it all over him. Yeah? Floyd wasn't doing nothing with De La Hoya. He didn't want to fight like that. He was scared to death. So, been exposed, been confirmed. Let me know your thoughts. Floyd ducked Dilla Sniffer for whatever reason. He broke and he shook. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. No doubt about it. Stop it.